Tribe, how you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 5. So, we start this episode off, we left off last week with Letitia and Kiki arguing in front of Black. She on the phone with Kimmy. And I appreciate that Letitia, when Kiki walked up on Tisha and was like, see, who you talking to? Who you talking about me to now? And Letitia was like, I'm venting to Kimmy about the situation. Again, and I said that in my review last week, like, this wasn't about you and you talking about Kiki or her talking about Kiki. It was about her venting about what just happened as it relates to the two of y'all. So I'm glad she said that. And I'm also glad that she kept correcting Kiki to say, listen, this is not a us issue. This is a you issue. You're still holding on to stuff that happened. I'm not holding on to stuff that happened. I'm talking about you being at a party recently, talking ish or contributing to a conversation where people are talking ish about me. That is what we're talking about. You're bringing up something that happened 5 years ago. You're bringing up something that I thought we had resolved. You brought it up. I didn't. And I feel like Tisha I don't always feel like Tisha does a good job in making her point, but in this one, I think Tisha did a very good job in standing her ground and making her point. And she did it again later on in this episode. So Letitia, good job, girl. You are getting better at articulating how you feel and standing in it. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But yeah, Kiki, that was you, girl. That wasn't Tisha. That was you. And whatever Tisha told Melody, if y'all talked about it and Tisha apologized for it and y'all allegedly moved past it, you don't get to bring it up again. I don't like when people do that, because either you're going to forgive me and we're going to move past it, or you're going to always hold it against me and wait for the opportunity to throw it in my face. And I don't like that. If you're going to throw it in my face, then let's just be, then it is what it is. We're not friends. We're not cool. We're not whatever. We're not anything. So then we see Martell roll up on Marceau to have a conversation. And let me say this. I'm going to say the same thing about this book signing as I said about this picture. What we're not going to do is spend the next 5 episodes talking about this book signing. We done talked about it for 2 episodes. It was what it was. It is what it is. Everybody has made their opinion known about how they felt about whether Melody should or should not have let them kids come to that book signing. But Martell, what you're not going to do is use that to manipulate and have everybody feeling sorry for you, okay? At the end of the day, even though I feel like it could have been handled in a different way, at the end of the day, it wasn't your week, bruh. Wasn't your week. That's it. That's all. From now on, moving forward, if you have something you want the kids to do, you just know now that you have to plan it in your week. And you have to decide how petty you're going to be, because guess what? There's going to come a time where Melody is going to need the kids when it's not her week. And you got to figure out how petty you're going to be about it. Just remember, at the end of the day, who's losing. That's it. Moving on. So then we see Martell invites Marceau down to Atlanta for the tasting for his wine. He's talking about some, yeah, we can have a guys weekend. And of course, tongue in cheek, it refers back to the whole, guys weekend situation, which again, we ain't gonna keep going back to that. And Marceau was like, well, I ain't trying to say we gotta be at the clubs and nothing like that. Marceau was like, I can go to the club. He was like, I can go to the club, I can go to the lounges, and Martell was like, well, I'm single, I can do whatever I want. Marceau was like, I'm married and I can do, and I respect where Marceau is coming from in that moment to say, listen, me and Tisha trust each other. She can go to the club with her friends, I can go to the club with my friends, because if I don't trust her and she don't trust me, then what we doing here? Regardless of what rumors are out there, regardless of what people might think, ain't nothing been proven about Marceau out there doing no dirt. Nobody, produced nothing. Not nothing that I would believe. Not nothing tangible. So at the end of the day, until something comes out about Marceau doing something Marceau don't need to be doing, listen. It is what it is. So then Martell talks to Marceau about wanting to buy back into Scope. Now remember, Scope was originally the Scotts and the Holtz business. That's where the name comes from, Scope. But at whatever point, they went their own separate ways, and Marceau bought Martell and Melody out of the business, and they've been running it separately, ever since. Of course, we know that Martell is trying to get back to where he was, and he's trying to get some things together. I guess what happened, what was going on with the other guy, maybe it didn't work out or whatever, I don't know. But And again, I feel like Marcel gave a good answer. Marcel said, "Listen, I am president of the company, but I'm not the majority owner of the company. That would be Letitia. So one, she's my wife, and two, she's the majority owner. So I'm okay with it. With idea, we're toying around with the idea, but ultimately the decision is hers." And he said, "What I am comfortable with right now is let us work on a project together. See how we work together, see how we mesh, and then we can maybe take that into the next thing if we decide to go back into business on a more permanent basis." Now, we find out that Marceau is helping Destiny with these suites in the back of her salon that she's been trying to build since she opened the salon. Now, this is a perfect example, ladies and gentlemen, of chickens coming home to roost. Okay? On both ends. One, Martell, you was talking shit about Marceau. Marceau could kiss your ass. You didn't need him. Your business was so much better. You and Melody were doing so much better. You glad you're not in business with them anymore. Da-da-da-da-da. And now, look, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Now, here you go with your hat in your hand, asking to get back in the business that you was bragging about not being in. Same thing with you, Miss Destiny. You was all high and mighty when you first came on the show because you was allies with Mel, and whatever Mel liked, you liked. Whatever Mel didn't like, you didn't like. And you was giving Marceau hell about them sweets when he came and gave you the estimate and you was talking shit. Y'all remember that? Because I remember that. Now, things ain't going so well with your friend Mel. Things ain't going so well with your marriage, and your money ain't. It's funny because back when you was first getting them sweets built, baby, money wasn't a concern for you, and you could handle it, and you was doing the thing. You was Queen Bee. Oh, but now things a little bit different, and I'm glad that Marceau is not a "I told you so" or "Nah, you ain't want me." Remember? Oh, nah, you ain't you. Glad he ain't that dude. Moving on. But anyway, so they talked about maybe helping out with that. Then we have this like throwaway scene with Kimmy and Maurice, where basically Kimmy just let Maurice know what happened with the conversation with that she was on the phone with with Letitia and cousin arguing, and how she feel like at some point they're gonna pull her into it because that's what they always do is pull her into it, child. All right, so then we have what I think is probably the best scene in this episode. I should say the best scene. Maybe the most heartfelt scene in this episode. Destiny went to Maurice for some help. We know that Maurice, on top of being an attorney, and he does credit repair. He was doing credit repair while he was in law school. Destiny's credited some shit. I could tell by the look on Maurice's face when he opened up that folder and she said, "I pulled my credit report and I need some help." And the look on his face when he saw her credit score tells me that her score is some shit. But I 100% believe that before she got married, her credit was probably pretty damn good. I know I have friends where it's happened to, where they were only married a couple of years, and in those couple of years, I don't know what happens in a divorce, because thank God I've never been divorced, but whatever happens, I have friends who had damn 750 credit ratings they was in the 400s by the time their divorce was over, okay? So I know how it can happen. And she's asking Maurice for help, and basically what Maurice is telling her, and she told him the same thing about being on public assistance, and he was like, what, PP loan, which is what I said, and she was like, no, I mean like public assistance. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know what kind of public assistance she was on, because that's what I was thinking too, was that she got some sort of PP loan or PPE loan, whatever. Basically what Maurice told her is that she needs to use her building as an asset. Create some residual income out of your building outside of the beauty supply store. She admitted that the beauty supply store is open and closed, and that she's basically funneling everything through paying for everything through her own personal finances, which every rich man will tell you, don't use your own personal money to take care of that kind of stuff. All rich people say that, child. Easier said than done, but I've heard it said before. And so that's when we brought up the whole doing the suites at the back of the salon thing again. They also came up with the she said she has, meeting space that she's gonna, rent out. She just has to get into that space, get into that place where it's good. Then they start talking about the Melody Letitia thing. He sort of segued into that by talking about having her village and who's in her village now. It was an awkward transition, but of course we had to talk about Melody Child. So she was talking about the relationship with Melody and Letitia and how, Melody, she really thought Melody was a friend, but Melody had sort of just kind of kicked her to the curb. She said, she went from talking to Melody. She said Melody was the kind of person, if she calls you and you didn't answer, she would text you till you answered. And, she said it went from that to nothing. She talked about the conversation after the reunion, and she said, she was like, Letitia is my ops. And, like, how was I supposed to know that Letitia was your ops? How was I supposed to know that you felt like Letitia was your ops? And we have become good friends. And she said, it hurts that I can't talk to Melody like I used to. Last week I had something happen to me, and I wanted to pick up the phone and call Melody, but I realized I couldn't. And Maurice was like, and who did you call? She was like, I called Letitia. He said, did Letitia help? Did she help make it better? She was like, yeah. She was very helpful. He was like, and basically he was like, you need to make a decision about who is really in your village and who isn't. Who really has your back, who's really there for you, who's really supporting you right now in this moment. But I could tell that Maurice really was trying to be a good friend to her in that place. And he, ultimately said, listen, I'm going to pray for you. Like, I really want to help you, get to where you need to get to. All right. Back down the scope, we have Letitia and we have Marcel. Letitia told Marcel she want her mama to shadow him down to black because she's really serious about this food truck and she needs some help. I don't think that's gonna work out. I think sometimes Letitia just be saying stuff because that was you knew that was a bad idea when it came out your mouth. You had to know. You just had to know. So then Marcel brings up the idea that Martell came to visit him and that Martell wants to buy back in the scope. Now here's another example of roosters coming home. I mean, what I say, roosters coming home, whatever the saying, however the saying go. Because like I said earlier, you gave him your ass to kiss. And now you want to get back in. And again, I got to give it to Tisha. Listen, Tisha gets the MVP for this episode because here it comes. Tisha said, listen, I appreciate the apology. I'm glad he's doing better. I'm glad he's getting back to the Martell we used to know. But I don't know if I could trust him. Because he really did some things to try to hurt us. And I just don't know if I'm ready to trust him or not. And Marcel was like, I hear you and I respect where you're coming from. And so he threw out the idea of Martell working on a project. And she was like, I mean, I'm okay with that idea. But ultimately, I'm just saying, I'm just going to let you know. Long term, I just don't know if I'm ready for us to go back into business with Martell. Like, and again, she was very specific. She was very clear. And she was very a matter of fact. And Marcel was like, well, I can't do anything but respect that. And I'll let him know. Excuse me. And Marcel said, I'm going to stand by my wife. That's what my wife feels. I stand by her decision, So, then we get to Melody and Destiny having this conversation. Let me say this, and I know this is going to get all the mellow meters, whatever y'all call yourselves in my comments, and that's fine. Melody is a very manipulative person. Melody is smart, and Melody plays games with words. So, Destiny said, I don't know what the problem is. It seems like you have a problem with me. Because other people are coming back to tell me. And Melody was like, what are you talking about? Because I don't even talk about you like that. When people ask me about you, I might give them a vague overview, but I don't even get that specific. I don't even talk about you. That's a damn lie, because we done heard you talk to Stormy. We done heard you talk to Tiffany about Destiny in this season. So Lord knows what you're saying when it ain't no camera around, because we've seen you on camera talking about Destiny. So don't do that. That's one. That's a lie. So Destiny said, well, there's a person that she was going to do a project with, and abruptly the person called off the project and said, listen, I don't know what's going on between you and Melody, but I don't want to get in the middle of it. Melody was like, well, she was a friend of mine, And I just, simply told her that I hadn't talked to you, and I'm not going to take responsibility for that. If she doesn't want to do business with you, that's when you. I mean, she did say she had some concerns about some things that were said on social media. And listen, I post what I want to post on social media, but I'm not, it's no subliminals, and I'm not adding anybody. And if people want to, I can't control how people interpret what I put on social media. I wasn't even talking about you. I mean, honestly, I don't even look at people's stories, so I don't know what was being said. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And even if you weren't, you know that there's a way that you say things to people where you imply certain things. And if this person was a friend of yours before they were a friend of Destiny's, of course they're going to feel like, I'm going to step out of this one because Mel my girl, and I don't want to get in the middle of no mess between her and this other woman. Come on, like, let's not act like that doesn't happen. Let's not act stupid like that's not how things go down. So then Melody started getting into this whole thing with Letitia. And again, you're double talking, Mel, because last year, y'all were cool. During the season, y'all were cool. Y'all were in a better place. Y'all were working on y'all friendship. So why wouldn't Destiny feel like it was cool to be cool with Letitia? And then y'all went to brunch and thought you cleared it up. Destiny doesn't know that you... And when y'all left brunch, Destiny thought y'all were cool. Destiny doesn't know that you left brunch and thought about it and realized that, nah, she a snake and I can't trust her. So now, when she says that she's confused, she is truly confused. Also, Melody said, you sat on that stage at the reunion and I didn't know you had a problem with me. That's the first I ever heard you having a problem with me. And that's bullshit. Because if you guys remember at the season finale last year when Melody released her video down to Stormy's house, remember Destiny pulled her aside to tell her all that she had a problem and that she was feeling some kind of way. And she felt like Melody was cutting her out of her life, and she didn't feel like she was a part of Melody's village anymore. Because remember, I said in my reunion, and probably everybody else said, wrong place, wrong time. This was Melody's night. She was releasing her video. Why are you bringing up y'all personal friendship issues at this moment? So, Melody, stop acting like you did not know that Destiny was having issues or Destiny was feeling some kind of way about y'all friendship into the reunion. That's a lie. That's a lie. You did know. And then, on the stage, you got mad because you felt like Destiny didn't defend you when Carlos asked Letitia. It was Letitia's question. And when Carlos asked Destiny, Destiny didn't get in it one way or the other. She said, well, I don't know. I'm just confused because I don't know where we stand in our friendship. You mad because she didn't defend you against Letitia and something that didn't have nothing to do with her. Then you want to bring up text messages because Destiny said at the reunion, I haven't talked to Melody. Okay, technically, she had talked to you because you showed text messages where y'all had talked. What Destiny was saying was there had been no meaningful interaction as regards to y'all's friendship since the season wrapped. But okay, on that one, you were right, Mel, because you showed the text messages of where you did reach out to Destiny. Fine. But Melody, you were playing games. You're playing word games and you're manipulating. You and your husband, ex-husband, excuse me. Y'all are one and the same when it comes to that. Both of y'all like to play these word games. Both of y'all like to play these mind games and manipulate people. Because at the end of the day, Melody, I think you are a good friend. And I think you were a good friend to Destiny. I'm not going to doubt that. But I think part of you still felt some kind of way about the fact that Destiny didn't tell you about what was going on with her and LeBarrett. Because you mentioned that multiple times. I think that you're not over what happened with you and Letitia, and you, as much as you try to act like you don't want people to choose sides and people don't have to choose sides and blah blah blah, you create a situation where you're making people feel like they gotta choose sides. You're doing that. Anyway, child, that's where the episode ends with the two of them basically saying fine, well fine, well fine, well fine, and I guess the friendship is over, child. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.